Hello, this is Bob Dunham, and I'm here to speak to you about the care conversation. This is part of leader action. What we have discovered in the decades of work we've done with leaders and with leadership over the years is that, first of all, leadership is not a bunch of concepts. It is skills, it is action, and it is results. So we're going to be exploring leadership as practices, as things we can see and do that make a difference. We're going to support each of you to elevate your leadership impact and leadership results. The way we're going to do that is with step-by-step practices, and all of them include conversations. Why? Because you're working with people. You're creating the future with them. You're creating shared commitments. So care is the first practice, the first step of a long journey for you, for the bank, into creating this new culture and developing your power to create the future. Care is so fundamental, and it's been part of a blind spot in our culture. We haven't taken care seriously. We live in an era where we have interpreted action as doing and external results. But it's the internal states of human beings that shapes all action. Their commitment, their care, it's what shapes individual action, it's what shapes teamwork, it shapes coordination. So why do we care as human beings? Because we live in language, because we have a future that we can describe, and there's futures that we want and futures that we don't want. And this produces an emotional, fundamental response that we call care. And care is not simply a personal emotion. It is public because it informs our actions. We call the action of care taking care. When you have someone performing for you, do you want them to be taking action on your behalf and they don't really care? They don't care about the action, they don't care about the result, they don't care about you. Of course you want them to care. And if we look at how we act in our lives when we are in action for something that we care about, for taking care of our children, our family, our babies, we don't just take action like mechanical getting tasks done. We take care. We bring our care. We cannot have passion. We cannot have ownership. We cannot have responsibility. We cannot have the courage to innovate and improvise without care. And this has been left out of our understanding of leadership. Leadership is not having a title. Leadership is not giving orders. Leadership is not being the expert. Leadership is creating a future with others. It is having followers, people who bring their care and their commitment to the actions that they're sharing with you to create a shared future. So what is essential for an effective team is to have shared care. And the only way we can make shared care is in conversation. So we're going to explore this conversation that you experienced at our conference together. You're now going to share this conversation with your teams. And this conversation is not a conversation that's ever over. We'll begin it, we'll have it, but it needs to be a recurrent practice. We don't say, I love you once in our relationships and never have it show up again because it's checked off. No, it's part of bringing ourselves fully to our work, to our careers, to our teamwork, and to creating the future all the time. So the care conversation is essential for this. How do we have the conversation? First, we need to understand that having a conversation in the way we're going to work with it in leader action, particularly this conversation, is an act of listening. Remember we did present, open, and connected? You need to connect. You need to be open. You need to produce a mood, a space of respect. People need to feel safe. We want them to be honest. And when they begin to see they can have this conversation, that in itself creates a new future, a new possibility for the kind of team that we're creating together. So we start out by asking the question, what do we care about as a team? What are we going to care about together? And we let everyone speak. We don't argue. We don't make assessments. We let everybody have their say. And then we have a conversation about which are the key aspects that need to be included in what our team cares about. We include multiple dimensions of care in this conversation. The care of the individual, the care that the team shares, the care for the bank, and the care we have for the country. These all have a place. And remember that care is part of action. Care informs action. Care brings the energy for commitment. And so what we care about is going to be used to design our standards for action, because it's really about, are we taking care of what we care about? We're going to have a regular practice of checking in and saying, are we clear what we care about? Are we sharing what we care about? Are we walking the talk? Are we actually taking care of what we said we want to take care of? And when not, that allows us to navigate and reorient. But this is how we connect the internal state of human being to the coordination with others, to the action that creates the future. And we can do this at any level of individual action, team action, the culture of the entire institution, and the impact we have for the entire country. And we will do this. So as a leader, your job is not to be the expert or even the best person in the conversation, but to hold the space and guide the conversation, to make a place for it to happen. And when we do that, then write down, and it's not enough to simply have a statement of care. We need to commit to it. We need to have a conversation with the team. These are the things that our team cares about, and there's certain things that most every team cares about. They care about excellence. They care about being relevant, of creating value, of satisfying their customers, of making a contribution, of having a career path, and having a healthy place to bring their full passion and commitment for the future to share with others. And so please have the conversation, find what you are going to share it at all these levels, and then we're going to go from there in our future step in the leader action journey to how do we translate that to action, taking care and standards, not as simply squeezing more productivity, but really bringing the full human being, our full heart and soul to our work together. So that's your challenge and your opportunity. Please enter it with the mood of fascination, the mood of interest, the mood of learning, and that is part of the way we're going to create this road to the future together. Thank you, and I look forward to our next step together. Bye-bye.